Welcome to another episode of Hard Lessons with Demel Hannah. I'm your host, Demel Hannah. So they sent me back to D house. You know what I mean? Familiar faces, everybody is still here. Guys know me. What's up, Wax? What's up, G? What's going on? Everything. So, I had a neighbor talk about the trust that you must build with different people. This is how you build alliances. I had a neighbor, cool motherfucker. But I didn't know that initially. You know what I'm saying? We got cool by way of playing basketball, just, you know what I'm saying? My cellmate became his cellmate. So he would hear us talk and he would inject every now and then. And so, he started liking me. He started liking me, man. You know what I'm saying? And guys like certain organizations, particularly like Latinos, Latin Kings particularly, they don't fuck with everybody. They don't fuck with everybody. They do not. They do not. They do not fuck with everybody. They do not. You know what I'm saying? They do not. So, he was making moves in that motherfucker. He was making moves in that motherfucker. And one time he got into it with the bitch ass lieutenant that sent me to segregation. And I came to his defense because, as I tell y'all, over time, I became very militant. I did. I became militant. So I would help out my fellow man. I would help out my fellow man because that's just how I was. You know what I'm saying? And I used to hear there's an honors amongst convicts. You know what I'm saying? You see something happening to a convict, irregardless of his motherfucking gang affiliation. If there's an honor, you're supposed to help. You're supposed to assist. So that was my mentality. You know what I mean? So boom. I came to his assistant. The fucking lieutenant had told him, like, pack your shit, you going to SIG. And I'm like, man, why the fuck is you sending the motherfucker to SIG for washing their ass, for putting up a motherfucking sheet? I said, what the fuck, you a miserable motherfucker. You just like fucking with people. So he like, you can go too. I'm like, I don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? I'm like, I don't care. I just did all these months and said, what the fuck I'm gonna do, 30 days? I don't give a fuck, nigga. Fuck you. Neither one of us went to segregation. But what that did to him was, I guess he was like, this dude here, he a different type of motherfucker. So I guess I won favor with him. I wasn't trying. That's the type of motherfucker I was. So, like I say, this guy, he was moving. He was making shit happen in the joint for his guys and for himself. This motherfucker, he had come off the visit, and he'd be like, hey, Wax, hey, check this out. I'll be like, what's up? And he'd hand me some shit, gangster shit, man. And I'll probably look at it, I'll be like, oh, okay, I see you. And I'll give it back to him. And he'll be like, you ain't take nothing out of that? And I'll be like, why would I take something out of something that don't belong to me and I wasn't instructed to take nothing? And he like, damn. I think that, I was never a thirsty motherfucker in prison. So if you give me something to observe, I'm gonna give it back to you. If you give me something to hold, when you get it back, everything that you gave me is still gonna be there. So I think the shit was surprising to him. He was surprised, like, this motherfucker ain't take nothing out of there. Why? You didn't tell me to. And motherfuckers getting murdered for doing that. I'm aware of that. Shit. Y'all see the movies I showed you, Blood In, Blood Out, American Me. I grew up off that shit. You know what I mean? So, that shit used to surprise him, man. So, eventually, me and him became so tight, like, he'd just be like, hey, Wax, here you go, and just give me shit. He wasn't the only one, though, because I was a trustworthy motherfucker in prison. I wasn't no thirsty motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't no thirsty motherfucker. And if you tell me something, it's between you and I. That's ours, kept secret. You know what I mean? So I built alliances in prison unintentionally. Like it wasn't my intention to like be cool with a Latin King or be cool with a Stone or be cool with a BD. I didn't sought out to do that. That just was my personality because I was trustworthy. I wasn't no sucker motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? I didn't stand the police face. We had a protocol back in the days. Only way you could talk to the police, one of the guys had to observe that shit. You just couldn't walk up to the police and, hey, you couldn't do that shit. If you walk up to the police without one of the homies, your ass is grass. We didn't play that shit. If you talk to the motherfucking, the guys told me they wouldn't give a fuck if you had to ask the police to get in the cell to shit. They want to be aware of it. They want to be privy of that conversation. So guys observed that. They knew I didn't play with the police. You know what I'm saying? I didn't fraternize with them motherfuckers. So, you know, I built alliances with good men. You know what I'm saying? And him particularly, he was one of them. You know, when I first got out of segregation, you know, I had built a real alliance with him that shit carried us years later. Me and him met up years later in Menard, and we still had that type of connection. I promise you. So in prison, you know, I tried to be respectful of everybody. I tried to, you know, I just tried to be cool, man. I was just a cool motherfucker. And me being cool, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people embraced me. A lot of people.